Close your eyes now. Let your eyelids become heavy, shutting out the room around you. Take a deep, slow breath in through your nose. Hold it for a heartbeat and release it slowly, letting your shoulders drop. Tonight, we are going to a place where time moves differently, a place of absolute stillness and anticipation. Imagine you are standing on the platform of a magnificent old-world railway station. It is late at night, perhaps past midnight. The station is a cavern of iron and glass, a grand cathedral built for travelers. High above you, the vaulted ceiling disappears into the shadows, supported by intricate steel arches that stretch across the sky like the ribs of a sleeping giant. Through the glass roof, you can see the night sky, a deep, endless velvet blue, scattered with the faint dust of stars. The air here is cold, crisp, clean. It bites gently at the tip of your nose and your cheeks, a refreshing reminder that you are alive, that you are here in this moment. But you are not cold. You are well prepared. You are wrapped in a heavy, thick wool coat that falls past your knees. Feel the weight of it on your shoulders, a comforting, grounding weight. Around your neck, a soft cashmere scarf is wound tight, trapping your body heat against your skin. You bury your chin slightly into the fabric, smelling the faint scent of wool and winter. Take a breath. Can you smell the station? It is a unique, nostalgic scent, the sharp freshness of snow falling somewhere nearby, mixed with the earthy, metallic tang of old iron rails and the faint, sweet smokiness of coal from a distant fire. It is the smell of travel, the smell of stories waiting to begin. Listen to the silence. The station is nearly empty. The daytime crowds have long since vanished, taking their noise and hurry with them. Now, there is only peace. You can hear the hollow, rhythmic ticking of the great station clock hanging above the platform. Tick, tock, tick, tock. The sound echoes softly off the stone walls, marking the passing seconds not with urgency, but with a steady, calming pulse. Far away, somewhere in the distance, you hear the faint clang of metal on metal. Perhaps a worker checking the tracks, a lonely sound that only deepens the quiet around you. You are alone here, but you are not lonely. You are simply waiting. And in this waiting, there is a perfect, profound rest. As you stand there, grounded by the solid stone beneath your boots, a quiet thought begins to drift through your mind, moving as slowly as the snowflakes around you. You realize that you have wanted to take this journey for a very, very long time. It has been a whisper in the back of your mind for months, perhaps even years, a dream you kept tucked away in a drawer labeled someday. Think back for a moment, just a brief moment, to all the reasons you didn't come sooner. There was always something, wasn't there? A deadline that couldn't be moved, a phone call that had to be answered, a seemingly endless list of responsibilities that demanded your attention day after day. You told yourself that you were too busy. You told yourself that the time wasn't right. You told yourself that rest was something you had to earn, a prize waiting at the end of a race that never seemed to finish. But standing here now, in the vast, echoing silence of the station, those reasons seem incredibly small. They feel like distant memories of a different life. You look around at the peaceful emptiness of the platform, and you realize something profound. The barrier was never real. The world did not fall apart because you stepped away. The noise of daily life continues without you, but you are free from it. Feel the weight of that realization. It is a physical sensation. It feels as if a heavy, invisible coat has slipped off your shoulders and fallen to the ground. The burden of someday is gone. There is no more planning to be done. There are no more decisions to be made. There is no need to worry about tomorrow or next week or next year. All of that is suspended, frozen in time. The cold air seems to clarify your thoughts, washing away the mental fog of routine. It is so simple, really. You just had to stop. You just had to buy the ticket and stand here. And now that you have, you feel a deep, resonating sense of victory. Not a loud, shouting victory, but a quiet, internal one. You have reclaimed your time. You have reclaimed your peace. You are exactly where you are supposed to be, and for the first time in a long time, you are entirely present in your own life. Now, bring your attention to your hands. You are holding something small and precious. Look down. Resting in your gloved palm is your ticket. It is not a digital screen, bright and distracting. It is real, tangible. A heavy, cream-colored piece of cardstock, elegant and simple. You take off one glove to feel it properly. The paper feels cool against your warm skin. It has a slight texture to it, a gentle roughness, like the page of a very old, beloved book. Run your thumb slowly across the surface. Swish, swish. Can you feel the raised ink? The letters are embossed in gold leaf, catching the faint light of the station lamps. The Alpine Express. The words shimmer softly, promising luxury, promising escape. Your eyes trace the details. The date is today. The time is now. And the destination simply says the mountains. There are no other instructions, no return date printed on the bottom, just a one-way invitation to peace. Holding this ticket, you feel a sense of permission. This small piece of paper is a contract between you and the world. It says that for the next few hours, you are unavailable. You are off the map. You have paid for silence, and now you hold the key to it in your hand. You carefully, very carefully, fold the ticket in half. The paper makes a crisp, satisfying sound. Crinkle. You place it securely into the inner pocket of your coat, close to your heart. You can feel it there, a small, flat weight against your chest. It is safe. You are ready. There is nothing left to organize. You are simply a traveler now, waiting for your carriage. And then, the atmosphere shifts. Before you hear it, you feel it. A subtle vibration begins to hum through the soles of your boots, traveling up through the stone platform. It is a deep, low resonance, like the purring of a giant cat. The silence of the station is about to be broken. Look down the tracks, into the endless tunnel of the night. There, a single point of light appears. At first, it is just a star brought down to Earth, flickering in the distance. But it grows brighter, larger, more intense with every second. A piercing beam of white gold light cuts through the darkness, slicing through the falling snow. It sweeps across the frosted rails, turning the cold steel into ribbons of liquid silver fire. The light washes over the platform, casting long, dancing shadows behind the iron pillars, announcing the arrival of something magnificent. The rumble grows deeper, a rhythmic, thundering heartbeat that fills your chest. Thrum, thrum, thrum. And now, emerging from the swirl of snow and night, the engine reveals itself. It is a colossal machine, a masterpiece of engineering from a golden age. The locomotive is painted in glossy midnight blue, so dark it almost blends with the sky, trimmed with polished brass that gleams under the station lamps. It does not rush. It glides towards you with a slow, majestic power. You can feel the heat radiating from its iron skin, pushing away the winter chill. The massive steel wheels slow their rotation, grinding softly against the tracks, slower and slower. With a final, long, drawn-out sigh, hiss, great clouds of white steam billow out from beneath the carriage. The steam swirls around your legs, thick and warm, smelling of clean water and heat, wrapping you in a sudden mystical fog. The train comes to a perfect, gentle halt right in front of you. For a moment, all is still again, save for the panting of the steam. Then, with a smooth, mechanical elegance, the door of the nearest carriage slides open. Warm, amber light spills out from inside, cutting a golden rectangle onto the snowy platform. It is an open hand, an invitation. Your chariot has arrived, and it is waiting for you. Move your attention now to your feet. You are standing on the very edge of the stone platform, just one step away from the train. You lift your heavy winter boot, feeling the slight resistance of gravity, and place it firmly onto the first metal step of the carriage. Clang. A dull, solid sound. You reach out with your gloved hand and wrap your fingers around the brass handrail beside the door. Even through the thick wool of your glove, you can feel the solidity of the metal. It is cool, smooth, and polished by thousands of journeys. You pull yourself up, slowly, deliberately, leaving the frozen ground behind. You take the second step, and then the third. As you cross the threshold and step onto the train deck, the atmosphere undergoes a complete miraculous transformation. It happens in an instant. One moment, the wind is nipping at your ears. The next, you are enveloped in a thick, luxurious blanket of warmth. It is a physical sensation, like stepping into a warm bath. You can feel the heat gently thawing your cheeks, relaxing the tight muscles around your eyes and jaw. The tension you were holding in your shoulders simply melts away, dripping down your back and vanishing into the floor. Pause here for a moment in the vestibule. Just breathe. The air inside this train is different. It is rich and heavy with history. Take a deep breath in through your nose. It smells of old-world comfort. You can detect the deep, resinous scent of dark cedar wood that lines the walls, the sweet, clean aroma of beeswax polish, and underneath it all, a faint, comforting hint of lavender and starch from fresh linens. It is the smell of a place that has been prepared with care, a smell that says, "You are welcome here." You look down the corridor that stretches out before you. It is a masterpiece of craftsmanship. The walls are not just wood. They are honey-colored mahogany, glowing with a deep inner fire under the soft electric lights. Every surface gleams. To your right, the windows are etched with delicate frosted patterns of vines and flowers, catching the light like frozen lace. On the floor, a long plush runner in deep burgundy stretches all the way down the hall. You take your first step onto it. Hush. The carpet is so thick it swallows the sound of your boots completely. You are no longer walking on the hard, noisy earth. You are walking on silence. Now, turn back toward the door you just entered. It is time to close it. You reach out and grasp the heavy brass handle on the inside. It feels substantial in your hand, a heavy mechanism built to last. You begin to slide the door shut. It moves smoothly, gliding on well-oiled tracks with a satisfying low rumble. Watch as the gap to the outside world narrows. The view of the snowy platform shrinks, smaller and smaller. You see the swirling snowflakes one last time, dancing in the cold wind. And then, thump. The door meets the frame. You turn the lock. Click. The sound is sharp, final, and incredibly satisfying. With that simple mechanical click, the world has been shut out. The howling of the wind is instantly cut off, replaced by a profound, heavy silence. The cold is gone. The obligations are gone. You are sealed inside this capsule of warmth and light. You are safe. You are protected. The journey has truly begun. You turn away from the sealed door and begin to make your way down the corridor. Your movement is slow, unhurried. There is no one else around. The train seems to be holding its breath, waiting for the departure. As you walk, you run your fingertips along the wood paneling of the wall. It feels warm and smooth as glass, vibrating ever so slightly with the idling power of the engine beneath the floor. A gentle, constant reminder of the energy waiting to be unleashed. Halfway down the carriage, a figure steps quietly out of the shadows and into the pool of warm light cast by a wall sconce. It is the conductor. He stands tall and still, like a statue from a more elegant time. He is an older man, his posture perfect, his hands clasped casually behind his back. He wears a uniform of deep midnight blue wool, so dark it is almost black, immaculately pressed and tailored. On his chest, a double row of gold buttons catches the light, gleaming like small, polished coins. On his head, a peaked cap with a gold band sits straight and proud. You pause for a moment, and he turns his gaze towards you. His face is a map of kindness, etched with fine lines around his eyes. Lines formed by years of smiling at travelers, years of watching over their journeys. His eyes are bright and alert, yet filled with a profound, calming patience. He does not speak. In this hushed atmosphere, words feel unnecessary, almost intrusive. Instead, he simply offers you a slow, respectful nod, a silent greeting, a gesture that says, "I see you. You are welcome here. I am watching over this train, and nothing will disturb you tonight." He raises one gloved hand and gestures gracefully down the hall, indicating the way to your private sanctuary. There is a quiet authority in his movement, a promise of safety. As you pass him, you catch a faint scent of starch and old leather, a clean, professional smell. You feel a wave of relief wash over you. You are not just a passenger. You are a guest under his protection. You know with absolute certainty that while you sleep tonight, he will be there, pacing the corridors, watching the tracks, keeping the world at bay. You are in good hands. You continue your slow walk down the corridor, moving deeper into the heart of the train. To your left, the frosted windows are dark, hiding the night. To your right, a row of identical mahogany doors stretches out, each one guarding the privacy of a traveler. You pass them one by one, respecting the silence. You pass cabin number 4, noticing the beautiful, swirling grain of the wood. You pass cabin number 5, hearing nothing but the faint hum of the ventilation. You pass cabin number 6, feeling a sense of anticipation building in your chest. And then you stop. You have arrived. Right in front of you, mounted on the dark wood at eye level, is a small, polished brass plaque. The number is etched deeply into the metal. 7. This is it. This is not just a room. It is your destination. For the duration of this night, this space belongs entirely to you. No one will disturb you here. No phone will ring. No demands will be made. Behind this door lies your personal haven, a space carved out of time itself. You reach out with your gloved hand and wrap your fingers around the door handle. It is made of cool, solid brass, heavy and substantial. You can feel the craftsmanship under your palm. You press down on the latch with your thumb. Click. A crisp, precise sound that echoes softly in the quiet corridor. It is the sound of a lock yielding, granting you access. You apply a gentle pressure, pushing the heavy door sideways. It slides open effortlessly, moving on well-oiled tracks with a low, rolling murmur. As the door retracts, the interior of your cabin is revealed. Warm, golden light spills out into the hallway, washing over your boots. You step across the threshold, moving from the semi-darkness of the corridor into the glowing heart of your room. You are inside. You have arrived at your home for the night. You step fully into the cabin and turn around to face the corridor one last time. It is time to close the door. You reach out and wrap your hand around the cool, polished brass of the inner handle. It fits perfectly in your palm, heavy and substantial. You take a slow breath, savoring this moment of separation. Gently, you begin to pull. The heavy wooden door glides on its tracks. It moves with a smooth, expensive weight, sliding effortlessly across the frame. Whoosh! As it moves, the rectangle of light from the corridor begins to narrow. You watch the outside world shrinking, inch by inch. The strip of hallway carpet, the wall opposite, the air of the public space, all of it is being pushed away. The door meets the frame with a solid, muffled thud, but you are not done yet. You reach for the lock, a small, intricate brass lever. You turn it slowly. Click. The sound is crisp, sharp, and final. It is the sound of absolute privacy. With that simple mechanical action, you have severed your connection to the noise, the demands, and the eyes of the world. The silence inside the cabin instantly deepens. It becomes heavy, rich, and protective. You reach out and pull down the privacy shade over the door's window. It descends with a soft rasp of fabric. Now no one can see in. You are completely alone. You stand there for a moment, your hand still resting on the cool metal of the door, listening. The wind outside is gone. The footsteps are gone. There is only the faint, rhythmic breathing of the train itself, waiting to carry you away. You have built your fortress. You are safe. Turn slowly now and take in your surroundings. The cabin is small, intimate, and perfectly proportioned. It is a jewel box designed for travel. The light comes from a pair of vintage brass sconces mounted on the walls. They cast a warm, honey-colored glow that softens every angle, banishing harsh shadows. The light reflects gently off the polished surfaces, creating a shimmering, dreamlike atmosphere. It is not the bright, demanding light of an office. It is the soft, lulling light of a library or a private study. Your eyes are drawn to the walls. They are paneled in rich, dark mahogany, a wood that speaks of age and elegance. Move closer. You can see the intricate grain of the timber, swirling like dark rivers caught in the wood. It has been polished to a mirror-like shine. You reach out to touch it. Your fingertips glide across the surface. It is cool, smooth as glass, and incredibly solid. You can feel the craftsmanship, the history held within these walls. They are thick and protective, standing guard between you and the cold night. Dominating the cabin is the seat. It is a wide, inviting bench that spans the width of the room. It is upholstered in crushed velvet, the color of deep, mossy emerald green. The fabric looks thick and luxurious. You run your hand along the backrest. Brush, brush. The velvet is soft against your palm, changing shade slightly as you move the fibers, like wind over tall grass. It feels plush, promising to hold you, to support you, to embrace you completely. Above the seat, a heavy luggage rack made of woven brass mesh gleams in the lamplight. Below, the floor is covered in the same thick burgundy carpet from the corridor, keeping your feet warm and cushioned. Every detail in this room, from the small toggle switches for the lights to the heavy velvet curtains tied back at the window, has been chosen for one purpose: your comfort. There is nothing here that is sharp, nothing that is hurried. It is a space built for peace. The warmth of the cabin is now fully embracing you, a stark and welcome contrast to the freezing platform. You realize that you are still wrapped in your winter layers, the armor you wore to brave the outside world. It is time to let it go. It is time to shed the weight of the day. Start with your gloves. You reach out with one hand and grasp the fingertips of the other. Pull gently, easing the thick wool off your hand, finger by finger. You feel the fabric slide away, revealing your skin to the warm air of the cabin. You place the gloves on the small table. Your hands are bare now. They are free. They no longer need to be protected against the elements. Flex your fingers slowly, feeling the blood returning to your fingertips, feeling the tension leaving your knuckles. Now, reach up to your neck. The thick cashmere scarf is wound tight, holding the heat in. Find the end of the fabric and begin to unwind it, loop by loop. It feels like you are unwinding the stress that has gathered at the base of your neck. As the last loop falls away, you pull the scarf free. A sudden, pleasant sensation of lightness washes over your throat. You take a deep breath, and the air feels easier to breathe, no longer restricted by the heavy knots of winter. Finally, the heavy wool coat. It sits on your shoulders like a burden. Reach for the buttons. They are cold and solid. Undaze them slowly, one by one. Click, click, click. With the last button undone, you shrug your shoulders. The heavy fabric slides backwards, slipping down your arms. You catch the coat and hold its weight in your hands for a moment. It is heavy. It holds the cold of the city, the smell of the smoke, the weight of your obligations. You turn to the wall and hang it on a sturdy brass hook. Watch it hang there. It looks like a shadow of yourself left by the door. You have stepped out of it. You are no longer the person who rushes through the cold. You are simply you. Lighter. Softer. You turn back to the room, feeling the warmth of the cabin touch your arms, feeling lighter than you have felt in years. You are ready to rest. With your heavy coat hanging by the door, you turn towards the inviting expanse of the velvet seat. You move slowly, feeling the softness of the carpet beneath your socks. You lower yourself onto the bench, sinking down, down, down. The cushions are deep and forgiving. They rise up to meet you, conforming perfectly to the shape of your body, supporting your back, your legs, your weary muscles. You let your head rest back against the plush upholstery. You let your hands fall loosely into your lap. You exhale a long, deep breath, signaling to your body that the waiting is over. And then the signal comes. From somewhere far ahead, near the engine, a whistle blows. It is not a harsh sound, but a long, low, mournful note that drifts back through the cold night air. Whoo! It echoes off the station walls, a lonely, beautiful sound that speaks of departure. It vibrates faintly against the window glass, a call to the wild, a call to the mountains. A moment of silence follows, total stillness, and then the awakening begins. Beneath your feet, you feel a shift. It starts as a deep, low tremor, a rumble that seems to come from the very belly of the earth. The massive steel beast is stirring. You hear the groan of heavy iron couplings stretching tight, creak, as the tension travels down the length of the train, from carriage to carriage, finally reaching yours. The train lurches forward. It is a tiny movement at first, barely an inch, but you feel it, a gentle tug against gravity. The wheels, cold and stiff from the weight, begin to turn, grind, clank. You hear the sound of steel biting into steel. Slowly, impossibly slowly, the station platform outside your window begins to slide backwards. First, it is just the texture of the stone moving past. Then, an iron pillar glides by. Then a bench. Then a pool of yellow light. The movement is heavy and deliberate. This is not a race. It is a procession. You watch the architectural details of the station drifting away. The arches, the signs, the empty luggage carts. They all recede into the past. The train is gathering its strength. The shuddering start smooths out into a continuous gliding motion. The grinding noise softens into a rhythmic chant. Clack, clack, whoosh. Clack, clack, whoosh. The heartbeat of the journey has begun. It is a steady, reassuring pulse that will carry you through the night. You are no longer stationary. You are moving. You are flowing. You are on your way. You turn your head to the side, pressing your cheek slightly against the cool smoothness of the velvet headrest, and fix your gaze on the square of glass. The train has cleared the station now. The roof of iron and glass has been swept away, peeling back to reveal the vast, open night sky. You are moving through the outskirts of the town, picking up speed with every turn of the wheels. The heavy mechanical chugging smooths out into a continuous flowing hum. Look out at the world you are leaving behind. It is a sea of lights. Street lamps cast pools of amber glow on the snow-covered roads. The headlights of cars move slowly along the streets, looking like tiny red and white beads sliding on strings. Illuminated windows in apartment blocks flash by, little squares of yellow life against the darkness. From down here on the ground, everything usually feels so large, so loud, so urgent. But now you are merely an observer. You are watching a silent movie through the thick glass of your window. As the train begins its ascent, climbing the first gentle slopes towards the mountains, the perspective shifts. You look down into the valley. The town begins to shrink. The office buildings, which just this morning seemed like towering giants casting shadows over your day, are reducing in size. They are becoming small, insignificant. They look like toy blocks stacked by a careless child. The roads where you sat in traffic, feeling the pressure of time, are now just faint ribbons of light, thin as threads. A profound realization settles in your chest, warm and liberating. Those buildings, those streets, those deadlines, they are not the whole world. They are just a tiny, glowing patch on a much larger map. The problems that lived inside those buildings, the worries that felt so heavy and overwhelming yesterday, they are shrinking too. They are trapped back there, in that miniature toy town. They cannot follow you here. They cannot climb this mountain. You are physically and mentally rising above them. You watch as the cluster of lights grows smaller and smaller in the distance. It is fading. The individual details are blurring together into a soft, glowing haze on the horizon. The invisible tether that tied you to that place has snapped. You are untethered. You are drifting free. The train curves around a bend, and a dark forest of pines rises up between you and the valley. The lights blink once, twice, and then vanish completely behind the trees. The city is gone. There is only the dark, the snow, and the rhythm of the train. You have escaped. You have returned to yourself. For a long time, you simply sit there, absorbing the rhythm of the train. But slowly, a desire for a small change of scenery begins to stir. A warm drink, a change of light. You decide to visit the dining car. You place your hands on the velvet seat and push yourself up, slowly, feeling the gentle sway of the floor beneath your feet. You find your balance instantly. The train is moving steadily, rocking you like a cradle. You slide the cabin door open. Click, rumble. You step back out into the corridor. It is empty. The long strip of burgundy carpet stretches out before you, guiding your way. You walk towards the end of the carriage. Your hand trails lightly along the mahogany rail that runs below the windows, your fingertips feeling the vibrations of the journey. Thrum, thrum, thrum. It is a connecting thread between you and the engine far ahead. You reach the heavy door at the end of the sleeping car. This is the threshold. You press the metal handle and push. The door is heavy, requiring a deliberate effort. As it opens, the atmosphere changes instantly. You step into the vestibule, the space between the carriages. Here, the silence is broken. The sound of the wheels is louder, a rhythmic, rushing clatter of steel on steel. Clack, 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 clack. It is a raw, powerful sound, the voice of the machine. The air is cooler here. You can smell the sharp, metallic scent of the tracks and the fresh ozone of the winter night, seeping in through the joints of the train. Beneath your boots, the heavy metal plates of the floor shift and slide against each other, shifting with the turn of the tracks. You are standing right above the coupling, right above the power. It is thrilling in a quiet way, but you are not staying here. You reach for the next door, the entrance to the dining car. It is a beautiful door, framed in wood with an oval glass window. You pull it open. Whoosh. Immediately, the loud clatter of the tracks is cut off. It vanishes as if someone turned a dial. You step inside, and the door closes behind you, sealing out the noise and the cold. Silence rushes back in, but it is a different kind of silence. It is warmer, richer. You breathe in deeply. The air here smells of roasted coffee beans, expensive chocolate, and old books. You have entered the heart of the train's social life, yet it remains a place of profound, respectful quiet. Pause for a moment to take in the beauty of this space. The dining car is a vision of golden age luxury suspended in the night. The ceiling is painted with delicate frescoes of clouds and cherubs, dimly lit by crystal chandeliers that sway gently with the motion of the train. Clink, chime. The crystals sing softly to one another. A delicate wind chimes sound that barely rises above a whisper. The tables are dressed in crisp, white linen tablecloths that hang heavy and smooth, their edges brushing the carpet. It is late and the car is mostly empty. There is a profound sense of peace here, the kind of hushed reverence you might find in an old library or a church after midnight. A few other souls are scattered throughout the carriage, fellow travelers who, like you, have found solace in the waking hours of the night. They are sitting alone, lost in their books, or staring out at the passing darkness. You move slowly down the aisle, your hand resting lightly on the backs of the velvet chairs as you pass. Near the center of the car, you notice a gentleman sitting by the window. He is older, perhaps in his 60s, wearing a comfortable tweed jacket. A book lies open on the table before him, bathed in the yellow pool of a small table lamp. Beside the book sits a tumbler of amber liquid, catching the light. As you approach, he looks up. He senses your presence. For a second, your eyes meet. In the busy world of the day, this might be a moment for polite conversation, for words that fill the silence. But here, in the sanctuary of the Night Express, no words are needed. He understands. He knows why you are here. Slowly, deliberately, he lifts his glass just an inch off the table. He offers you a subtle nod, a slow inclination of his head, a silent toast. It is a gesture of recognition, a salute to the night, to the journey, and to the peace you both share. You offer a small smile and a nod in return. The connection is made and instantly released. It is a perfect social interaction, warm, respectful, and completely undemanding. You feel a sudden, deep sense of belonging. You are alone, but you are not isolated. You are part of a silent brotherhood of travelers, drifting together through the dark. You continue past the other tables and choose a secluded booth at the very end of the carriage, tucked away in a quiet corner. You slide into the seat. It is upholstered in soft, worn leather that creaks gently as you settle in. Creak, sigh. The leather is cool at first, but it quickly warms to your touch, molding to support your back. You place your hands on the table. The white linen tablecloth is crisp and starched, cool and smooth under your fingertips. It is pristine, like a field of untouched snow. Almost immediately, but without any hurry, a waiter appears at your side. You didn't hear him approach. He moves with the grace of a dancer, his footsteps completely silent on the thick carpet. He is dressed in an immaculate white jacket, holding a small silver tray against his chest. He offers you a gentle smile, not a professional grimace, but a look of genuine warmth. He places a menu before you on the table. He does not ask, "What do you want?" He simply waits, his presence calm and unobtrusive, like a shadow. You reach out and touch the menu. It is bound in heavy, dark leather, embossed with the train's golden insignia. It feels substantial in your hands. You open the cover. Crackle. The sound of the stiff binding opening is satisfyingly sharp in the quiet room. You turn the thick, cream-colored pages. Your eyes scan the list of offerings: coffee, spirits, wines. But tonight, you need something different, something to soothe, not to stimulate. Your finger traces down the page until it lands on the section titled Infusions. One name catches your eye: Alpine Night. The description reads, "A blend of wild mountain chamomile, peppermint leaves gathered in the high valleys, and a touch of dried honey." It sounds perfect. It sounds like the landscape outside distilled into a cup. You look up at the waiter. You don't need to raise your voice. In this acoustic perfection, a whisper is enough. "The Alpine night tea, please," you say softly. Your voice sounds calm, lower than usual. The waiter nods, a single respectful bow of his head. "An excellent choice," he murmurs. His voice is barely audible, smooth as silk. He picks up the menu, closes it with a soft thud, and glides away towards the galley. You are left alone again, with nothing to do but watch the reflection of your own peaceful face in the dark window, waiting for the warmth to arrive. You do not have to wait long. From the corner of your eye, you see the waiter returning. He moves like a ghost, gliding effortlessly despite the swaying of the train. He places a heavy silver tray onto your table. Clink. The sound of metal touching linen is soft, barely a whisper. He arranges the items before you with practiced precision, treating them like sacred artifacts. A small silver teapot, polished to a mirror finish. a delicate bone china cup on a matching saucer, and a small silver spoon. He bows once more and departs, vanishing into the shadows of the galley, leaving you alone with your tea. You reach out and touch the handle of the teapot. It is warm, radiating a gentle heat that promises comfort. You lift it. It feels heavy, full. You tilt the spout over the cup. Watch closely. A stream of liquid amber pours out. Shh. It swirls into the bottom of the white cup, rising higher and higher. It is a beautiful, clear, golden color, catching the light of the table lamp like melted sunlight. As the tea fills the cup, a cloud of steam rises up. It curls and dances in the air, creating soft, ghostly shapes that drift towards the ceiling. The steam carries the scent to you. Breathe it in. It smells of summer meadows, of dried flowers, and the sweet, earthy richness of honey. It is a scent that instantly tells your brain, it is time to rest. You place the teapot back on the tray. Clack. You reach for the cup. The porcelain is fine and thin, almost translucent. As you wrap your hands around it, the heat seeps into your palms. It travels up your wrists, into your forearms, relaxing the muscles as it goes. It is a grounding sensation, an anchor of warmth in the cool air of the carriage. You lift the cup to your lips. You can feel the steam caressing your face, moist and warm. You blow gently on the surface, rippling the golden liquid. You take a small sip. The tea is perfect. Not too hot, just comfortably warm. It flows over your tongue, sweet and herbal. You swallow and feel the warmth traveling down your throat, spreading a glow deep into your chest. It feels like liquid relaxation. With that single sip, the last knot of tension in your stomach unravels. You sink deeper into the leather booth. You are warm. You are full. You are content. Having returned to the sanctuary of your private cabin, you slide the heavy wooden door shut for the final time tonight. Click. The lock engages. The world is locked out. You are back in your nest. You feel different now. The warm herbal tea has worked its magic, spreading a heavy, pleasant lethargy through your limbs. Your legs feel slow, weighted down by a comforting gravity. Your arms feel loose and relaxed. It is a good kind of heaviness, the feeling of a body that is finally ready to stop moving. You do not just sit down. You surrender to the seat. You sink into the emerald velvet, and the cushions seem to rise up to meet you, deeper and softer than before. You reach out and dim the lights. With a small click of the brass toggle switch, the overhead lamp fades away. Now, the cabin is lit only by the soft, blue-gray moonlight spilling in through the window and a tiny, warm reading lamp near your head. The shadows in the room become long and soft. The mahogany walls turn almost black, dissolving into the darkness. The atmosphere is intimate, sleepy, and incredibly still. You pull the thick wool blanket over your legs. It is heavy and warm. You tuck it in around you, creating a cocoon. You lean your head back against the headrest, closing your eyes for just a moment to listen. The sound of the train has changed. Do you hear it? The rhythm is no longer the fast, light clatter of the flatlands. It has deepened. It has slowed. Chug, chug, chug. The engine is working harder now, pulling with a steady, powerful determination. You can feel a slight tilt in the floor. The nose of the train is pointing upwards. You are leaving the valley floor. You are beginning the great ascent. Turn your head slightly on the pillow and look out through the thick glass of the window. The world outside has transformed completely. The gentle hills and open fields of the valley are gone. left far below in the past. You have entered the deep forest, the wilderness. The train is carving a path through an ocean of ancient pines. These are not the small trees of the city parks. These are giants, massive, towering sentinels that have stood here for centuries, watching the seasons turn. They stand close to the tracks, row after row, passing by in a rhythmic, hypnotic blur. Dark, light, dark, light. The moonlight catches their trunks, creating a strobing effect that is mesmerizing to watch. It feels as if the forest is endless, a vast, dark blanket wrapped around the mountain's shoulders. Look closely at the branches as they glide past. They are bowed low, heavy with the weight of deep, undisturbed snow. The snow here is different. It is thicker, cleaner, whiter. It sits on the trees like thick pillows of icing sugar. In some places, the branches are so laden with snow that they touch the ground, creating hidden caves and secret hollows underneath. It is a landscape of absolute purity. No footprint has ever marked this snow. No car has ever driven here. It is a world that belongs entirely to the winter. The moon is high now, a bright silver coin in the sky. Its light floods the forest, turning the snow into a glittering field of diamonds. The shadows of the trees stretch long and blue across the white ground, moving and shifting as the train winds its way up the slope. It is a monochromatic world. Black trees, white snow, silver light. There is no color here to distract you, just the peaceful, high-contrast beauty of the night. You are gliding through a painting, safe inside your warm, moving frame, watching the silent majesty of nature drift by. Keep your eyes fixed on the passing tree line. The train is moving slowly here, fighting the gravity of the mountain, giving you time to see the secrets of the forest. Between the dark pillars of the pine trunks, in a small clearing bathed in moonlight, you catch a glimpse of a shape, something that breaks the pattern of the branches. Perched high on the sturdy limb of an old spruce tree sits a great gray owl. It is magnificent. A statue carved from feathers and silence. It sits absolutely motionless, its mottled gray and white plumage blending perfectly with the bark and the snow. It is puffed up against the cold, a round, soft sphere of warmth in the freezing night. It looks like a guardian spirit, placed there to watch the metal traveler pass by. As the train draws level with the tree, the owl moves. It is not a sudden movement, but a slow, deliberate rotation of its head. It turns to face you. For a fleeting second, its large, round eyes catch the light from your window. They flash like two pools of liquid amber, deep and ancient. There is no fear in that gaze, only a calm, detached curiosity. It watches you, safe behind your glass, a traveler from another world. And then it decides to move. Watch closely. The owl leans forward and drops from the branch. Its wings unfurl, wide, powerful, and ghostly pale. Whoosh! But there is no sound, not a whisper. Owls are the silent flyers of the night. Its wings beat against the air with a softness that defies physics, making no noise, disturbing no peace. It glides effortlessly over the snowdrifts, a pale shadow drifting between the trees. It vanishes into the deeper darkness of the woods as quickly as it appeared. All that remains is the branch where it sat. Relieved of the bird's weight, the branch springs up gently, shaking loose a small cascade of snow. You watch the white powder drift down in the moonlight, glittering like diamond dust, settling back into the silence of the forest floor. The owl is gone, but the journey continues. The train pushes on, deeper and higher into the mountain range. You can feel the gradient increasing. The floor of the cabin is tilted ever so slightly back, a gentle angle that encourages you to recline, to let your head fall back against the pillow, to surrender to gravity. Listen to the voice of the train now. It has changed completely from the fast, light rhythm of the valley. Here, on the steep ascent, the engine is singing a song of pure power. It is a slow, deep, rhythmic chanting. Thrum, thrum, thrum. It is a low-frequency vibration that you feel as much as you hear. It resonates in your chest, in the wood of the walls, in the glass of the window. It is a steady, unwavering heartbeat, a promise that the machine is strong, that it will carry you up without fail. The train winds its way up the mountain like a great steel serpent. Occasionally, the tracks curve sharply to the left or right, navigating the contours of the cliffs. When this happens, if you look forward, you can see the engine far ahead, its headlight cutting a bright white cone through the darkness, illuminating the snow-laden pines before the rest of the train follows. It is a mesmerizing dance. The light, the curve, the follow. The light, the curve, the follow. This repetition is a powerful hypnotic. The sound of the wheels crossing the joints of the tracks becomes a mantra. Click-clack, pause. Click-clack, pause. Over and over again. It washes over your mind like waves on a shore, smoothing out the rough edges of your thoughts. There is no need to think. There is no need to anticipate. There is only this moment, this sound, and this steady, relentless climb towards the stars. The higher you go, the heavier your eyelids feel. The air outside is getting thinner, cleaner, colder. But in here, the warmth is deepening. The rhythm of the ascent is lulling you, rocking you, preparing you for the final destination. Sleep. You are drifting in this hypnotic rhythm, lulled by the steady climb, when you feel a subtle shift in the momentum. The deep, driving heartbeat of the engine begins to slow. The rhythmic clack-clack of the wheels stretches out, becoming longer and longer. The train is losing speed. It is not an abrupt stop, but a gentle, gliding deceleration, as if the steel beast is simply exhaling. You lift your head slightly from the pillow. Through the window, you see the trees passing by slower and slower, until they stop completely. With a final soft hiss of hydraulic brakes and a gentle settling of the carriage springs, the train comes to a total standstill. You are somewhere in the middle of nowhere. There is no station here, no platform, no bustling crowds, just a technical stop on a siding, deep within the heart of the ancient forest, waiting for another train to pass on the single track. And then, the silence hits you. It is absolute, profound. After the hour of constant rhythmic noise, the sudden absence of sound feels heavy, almost tangible. It fills the cabin instantly. Listen. The roar of the wind is gone. The grind of the wheels is gone. In their place, you hear the microscopic sounds of the night. You hear the soft tick, tick, tick of the hot metal under the carriage cooling down in the freezing air. You hear the incredibly faint, whispering sound of dry snow hitting the glass. Tip, tip, tip. You look out into the darkness. At first, it seems there is nothing but the black trunks of the pines. But then, your eyes adjust. A few meters away, standing alone in a snowdrift, is an old railway signal. It is not an electric light, but an old-fashioned lantern on a rusted iron post. Inside, a warm, amber flame burns steadily behind thick glass. It casts a small, brave pool of yellow light onto the snow. It illuminates the falling snowflakes, turning them into a cascade of golden sparks. It is a lonely, beautiful sight. A single point of warmth keeping watch in the vast, cold wilderness. It feels as if the train has stopped just for you, just so you could witness this perfect moment of stillness. Keep your gaze softened, resting gently on that lonely circle of warm, amber light cast by the old lantern against the snow. The snow continues to fall, a mesmerizing curtain of white lace blurring the edges of the world. You wait in the profound silence, watching the light. And then, movement. At the very edge of the darkness, where the deep shadow of the pines meets the faint glow of the lamp, something shifts. It is not a sudden movement, but a slow, deliberate parting of the shadows. A silhouette begins to detach itself from the trees. It moves with a fluid, silent grace that seems impossible for its size. It steps tentatively at first, then with growing confidence, out of the obscurity and into the pool of light. It is a stag, a magnificent red deer, the true ancient king of this forest. He is massive. As he steps fully into the illumination, you can see the immense power in his shoulders and his broad chest, built to endure the harshest winters. He stops directly under the lantern light and stands perfectly still, proud and statuesque, like a monument carved from the earth itself. His coat is thick and shaggy, especially around his neck, a deep, rich, russet brown that looks almost black in the night. You can see individual snowflakes caught in his rough fur, resting on his back and shoulders like jewels, unmelted by the cold insulation of his coat. Your eyes are drawn upwards to his head. He wears a crown of antlers that stretches high into the air, a complex, wide-branching lattice of bone that speaks of his age and dominance. The tips of the antlers catch the yellow light, glowing faintly against the dark sky. He lifts his heavy head slowly to test the air. You can see his black, wet nose twitching, analyzing the strange, metallic scent of the sleeping train, the smell of heated iron and grease in his pristine world. Watch his breathing. The air outside is freezing, but his body is a furnace of life. As he exhales, two distinct, thick plumes of white steam erupt from his nostrils. Hya! The vapor swirls around his face, a mystical fog that hangs in the cold air for a long moment, before drifting upwards and dissolving into the night. You watch him take another slow breath in, and another long, visible breath out. The rhythm is slow, deep, and incredibly calming. Then, slowly, deliberately, he turns his magnificent head towards your carriage. He knows you are there. His large, dark eyes reflect the lantern light, shining like pools of polished obsidian. There is no fear in that gaze, no instinct to flee, only a calm, ancient wisdom. He simply observes. In this moment, separated only by a fragile pane of glass, two worlds are meeting silently. The world of steel and steam, and the world of blood and bone. He twitches one large velvet-lined ear, shaking off a small dusting of snow. He is completely at peace, the absolute master of his domain, unbothered by the cold, unhurried by time. Watching him stand there, so solid and grounded in the shifting snow, you feel a deep resonance within your own body. His absolute stillness becomes your stillness. For a few more moments, the stillness holds. You are suspended in time, watching the snow fall around the lonely lantern. But then, a subtle change ripples through the air. From the far front of the train, deep in the darkness, you hear a low, resonant sigh. Hiss! It is the sound of the pneumatic brakes releasing, a long, drawn-out exhalation of air that whispers down the length of the carriages. Beneath your body, through the layers of the mattress and the velvet seat, You feel a vibration return. It is faint at first, a subterranean trembling, like the purring of a giant cat waking from a nap. The train is gathering its immense strength once more. It does not lurch. It does not jerk. It simply leans forward. You feel the gentlest possible shift in gravity, a soft tug that presses you just a fraction of an inch deeper into your pillows. Look at the lantern outside. Watch it closely. For a long second, it seems stationary. Then, almost imperceptibly, it begins to slide. Inch by inch, it drifts backwards. The iron post glides past your window frame. Then the glass housing. Then the pool of yellow light on the snow. It moves with agonizing slowness, like a ship leaving a harbor in thick fog. You watch it slide away into the periphery, becoming smaller, fainter, until it is swallowed by the shadows of the pines. The train is moving now, but it is not rushing. It is crawling. It is prowling through the forest with a heavy, deliberate caution. The wheels turn slowly, crushing the ice on the rails with a muffled, rhythmic crunching sound. Crunch, pause, crunch, pause. The rhythm is incredibly slow, deeper and more spaced out than before. It sounds like a slow, resting heartbeat. Thump, thump, silence. Thump, thump, silence. The trees outside have resumed their procession, but they pass by with a sluggish, dreamlike quality. You can count them individually. One dark trunk, another dark trunk, a gap filled with moonlight, another trunk. The motion of the train creates a gentle, swaying sensation, a slow, side-to-side rocking motion that is perfectly synchronized with your breathing. It is the feeling of being carried. It is the feeling of being held in a massive steel cradle that is rocking you slowly and safely towards the deepest part of the night. As the train continues its slow, hypnotic crawl, the landscape outside undergoes a final, dramatic transformation. You are leaving the dense forest behind and entering the high mountain passes. The tracks begin to weave their way into a deep, narrow gorge, a fracture in the earth carved by ancient glaciers. Watch the window. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the view changes. The trees thin out, replaced by looming shapes that are darker and denser than the night itself. Walls of sheer granite rise up on either side of the tracks. They go up and up and up, towering hundreds of feet above the train, blocking out the stars, blocking out the sky. You are entering a cathedral of stone. Suddenly, the bright silver moonlight that has been flooding your cabin is cut off. The mountain wall has stepped between you and the moon. The room is instantly plunged into a deep, rich shadow. The details of the mahogany wood, the brass coat hook, even the outline of the door, they all dissolve into soft, velvety grays and blacks. The only light remaining is the tiny amber glow of your reading lamp, a small island of warmth in a sea of darkness. It feels as if a heavy curtain has been drawn around your bed. The sound of the train changes too. As you enter deeper into the valley, the acoustic environment shifts. The open air is gone. Now, the rhythmic clack-clack of the wheels echoes off the close rock walls. The sound bounces back instantly, layering over itself, transforming into a continuous low-frequency hum. It is a white noise, a drone that wraps itself around your mind. It sounds muffled, distant, as if the train is moving underwater. This new, deeper sound vibrates in the very frame of your bed, massaging your back, telling your muscles that there is nothing left to hold on to. You are deep in the valley now, buried in the mountains, hidden from the world. The darkness here is not empty, it is thick and protective. It presses gently against the window glass, sealing you in. Your eyes, deprived of the bright moonlight, begin to lose their focus. The heavy eyelids, which you have been fighting to keep open, now feel weighted with lead. The darkness is inviting you to close them, to let go of the visual world entirely, to sink into the shadow. In this deep, rocking darkness buried within the protective walls of the canyon, a quiet, profound realization washes over you. It is a feeling of rare and absolute contentment. You realize that you do not want this night to end. You do not want the sun to rise. You do not want to arrive at any destination. You simply want this motion, this shadow, this peace. You think to yourself, if this train were to travel forever, on and on through the endless night, I would be happy. There is a sweetness in that thought. Being here, suspended between where you came from and where you are going, feels like the only place that matters. You are in a sanctuary outside of time. The world of calendars and clocks has ceased to exist. There is only the rhythm, the eternal, steady rhythm that beats against the rails. Your body feels incredibly heavy now, sinking so deep into the mattress that you can no longer tell where your skin ends and the velvet begins. The blanket feels like a part of you. The vibration of the train is no longer a sound you hear. It is a sensation that flows through your blood, a lullaby humming in your very bones. Sleep. Sleep. Let the train take the weight. You don't need to carry anything anymore. Not your past, not your future. You can leave it all on the luggage rack. Here in the dark, you are weightless. You are drifting on a river of steel and steam. Your breathing slows down, matching the slow, rolling cadence of the wheels. Every exhale takes you deeper. Every inhale fills you with calm. The darkness behind your eyes grows vast and soft, like a warm, starless sky. You are safe. You are held. You are drifting away from the waking world, sliding gently into the velvet embrace of the dream. The sound of the engine fades to a whisper, then to a memory, then to silence. You are still moving, but now you are traveling through the landscapes of your own rest. Deep, peaceful, eternal. Sleep now. The journey watches over you. Good night.